On today's menu is a delicious fish recipe that you can serve as a starter or as a snack or as a side alongside your main meal. Both kids and adults will love having this because it is extremely delicious, and like most of my recipes, they are really very easy to make. Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. I am using boneless, skinless salmon fillets. You can also use fish with bones and any fish of your preference. I added a few whole spices like a dry bayleaf, green cardamoms, and a small cinnamon stick, a teaspoon of oil. Next, the aromatics, a teaspoon each of finely grated ginger and garlic. All of these will take care of the fishy smell. A teaspoon of salt and about 6 to 7 black peppercorns. Then add about half a cup of water and allow to come up to a gentle boil on medium heat. Please do not add too much water. You do not want the fish to be swimming here. And my friends, we are not looking for a roaring boil here. When you see those small bubbles showing up, cover on and let it simmer on gentle low heat for 5 to 6 minutes. 5 minutes done, switch off the heat. Discard the whole spices and carefully take out all the pieces onto a plate. And remember to discard all that water. If you are using fish with bones, then please take out all the bones once the fish is comfortable enough to handle. My friends, you have to take out all the bones because the last thing you want is somebody requiring to rush to a doctor's office with a fish bone stuck in his or her throat. Mash the fish and then you need this to cool down completely. It is very important to allow it to cool down completely. Next step is just mixing everything. Into a bowl, add the cooled down fish, boiled potatoes that I have passed through a potato ricer. You can also use the large holes of a grater to grate your potatoes. Please remember the potatoes also need to be cold or at room temperature, or else the mixture will be too sticky to handle. Next are some greens. I have used the greens of green onions, chopped green chilies, and lots of coriander leaves. You can use parsley instead of coriander leaves. You can leave out the green onions and chilies. Do whatever your heart desires to. Crushed black pepper. Next goes finely chopped onions. I added a teaspoon of salt and then 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Next comes the spice powders, my homemade curry powder, and a teaspoon of my homemade bhaja masala. I have given all the video links to these 2 masalas in the description box below. If you do not want to make bhaja masala, you can add an extra teaspoon of curry powder. But I would highly recommend using bhaja masala because it is very, very aromatic. Then I added about half a teaspoon of crushed kasuri methi, that is dried fenugreek leaves. But again, that is optional. And finally, a teaspoon of lemon juice. You can add any seasonings of your choice. Doesn't have to be curry powder. You can also add chaat masala or amchur powder. The options are endless here. Mash very well and then shape them into kababs. Apply some oil onto your palms and that will help in shaping them. You can call these as kababs or fish cakes or maybe fish patty or just give a name of your choice. Sometimes people get so annoyed with me seeing how I have named a recipe. But a recipe can be called in several ways. Now that doesn't mean I will designate a pasta recipe as chow mein. No, I won't do that. Okay, my kebabs are all shaped, so time to dive into the pan. If you are a beginner, please keep the kebabs in the refrigerator for about an hour. In that way, they firm up more and becomes easier to handle. You need to shallow fry these. I have used about 1/3 of a cup of oil. You can use less. Once the oil turns hot, place the kebabs in a single layer. Everything is cooked here, so fry them on medium-high heat till they are golden on both the sides. You can shape these kebabs the day before you plan on serving them. Keep them in the fridge and fry just before you plan to serve. If you plan on freezing them, use dried herbs instead of fresh ones. And in that case, use fried onions instead of raw onions. They taste good even at room temperature, or you can microwave them. I'm telling you, my friends, they just move off like hot cakes, and everyone will love it. I serve it with a white dip, and I will be showing you that as well. Do not brown the kebabs too much. Next, coming to the dip, in a bowl I added 3 tablespoons of plain unflavored yogurt, a tablespoon of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, freshly crushed black pepper, little bit of salt, some dried parsley, and a pinch of red chili flakes. Give a mix, and then I love adding a teaspoon of honey. You can also add sugar, or you can leave it out if you have any concerns. My son and my husband love having these kebabs with the dip. I like them as is. With or without dip is all up to you, but you've got to try this recipe, my friends, and please do send me your feedback. Bye bye.